Some schools leave behind more than memories. When the last bell rings and the hallways fall silent, a few are said to come alive in ways no one can fully explain. Whether these stories are shaped by history, coincidence, or something far stranger, one thing is certain: they've kept people looking over their shoulders for generations. And the deeper we go into this list, the more unsettling these places become. Old Licking County High School. Hidden behind cracked brick walls and broken windows in Ohio, this abandoned school has become one of the state's most talked about paranormal locations. Years after classes ended, urban explorers began reporting an unsettling feeling the moment they stepped inside. They described hearing footsteps echo through empty corridors, doors creaking in rooms where no one was standing, and whispers that seemed to drift from dark classrooms. Several paranormal investigation teams have visited the building, hoping to document unusual activity, adding even more attention to its reputation. Skeptics point to the building's age and decaying structure as possible explanations. Yet many visitors leave convinced they experience something far beyond old wood settling. And compared to our next school, these stories seem almost ordinary. Pocatello High School. Built more than a century ago in Idaho, this historic campus has collected ghost stories almost as quickly as it collected graduates. The school's grand auditorium is at the center of its reputation. During rehearsals and late-night events, students and staff have occasionally reported hearing footsteps crossing the stage after everyone had gone home. Others claimed to glimpse a figure standing quietly in the balcony before disappearing moments later. Over the years, local legends transformed these unexplained moments into stories of spirits refusing to leave the building. While no investigation has produced conclusive evidence of paranormal activity, the consistency of the accounts keeps curiosity alive. But the next school became famous because witnesses believed they weren't alone in its hallways. Monte Vista High School. For decades, this California school has inspired stories that continue to circulate long after graduation. Students have spoken about cold spots that seem to appear without warning, while teachers finishing late-night work described hearing movement in empty classrooms. One of the most repeated stories involves a shadow-like figure near a staircase that seemed to vanish the instant someone looked directly at it. None of these claims have been verified, yet they were shared by people who had never met each other, years apart. That pattern has made the legend surprisingly difficult to dismiss. Still, the next location earned its reputation through experiences reported not by students, but by the people responsible for protecting the building after dark. Hughes High School. When the final students leave for the day, security staff are often the only people walking the halls. At this historic school, some of those workers have shared experiences they still struggle to explain. Reports describe classroom doors opening without anyone nearby, footsteps echoing across empty corridors, and the feeling of being watched while checking locked sections of the building. Former students have added their own stories, recalling strange shadows and unexplained noises during evening events. None of these experiences have been confirmed through scientific evidence, but together they created a reputation that has survived for generations. Whether caused by imagination or something unknown, the stories continue to attract curious visitors. Yet one school in Southeast Asia carries a far darker history than simple ghost tales. Lawang Sewu School Complex, although best known today as a historic landmark in Indonesia, parts of this former educational and administrative complex have become deeply connected with stories of the unexplained. Unlike many haunted locations, its reputation is tied to documented wartime history, as well as local folklore. Visitors exploring its long corridors and underground areas have described hearing distant footsteps, unexplained voices, and sudden drops in temperature. Guides often remind tourists that history alone can create a powerful emotional atmosphere, especially in places where tragic events once unfolded. Even so, countless personal accounts continue to fuel its haunted reputation. Whether those experiences are psychological or paranormal remains open to debate, and our next school proves that even an ordinary classroom can become the center of an unforgettable mystery. Chiang Rai School Building. In northern Thailand, several schools have become part of local ghost folklore, but one building continues to stand out because of the stories shared by generations of students. Late in the evening, some claimed they heard quiet crying echo through empty classrooms, while others believed they saw someone standing near second-floor windows after the campus had closed. Teachers who spent extra hours grading papers occasionally admitted they experienced an uneasy feeling they could never quite explain. No official investigation has confirmed paranormal activity, and many believe local traditions heavily influence how these stories are interpreted. Even so, the legend refuses to fade. In fact, the schools still ahead on this list have become even more famous for the chilling encounters linked to their halls. Helensburgh High School. Australia is home to countless historic schools, but few have gathered as many unsettling stories as this one. Former students and maintenance workers have described hearing footsteps in empty hallways long after the campus had closed for the night. Others recalled classroom chairs mysteriously shifting position between evening inspections and the next morning. While each incident could have an ordinary explanation on its own, the sheer number of similar accounts shared over the years has kept the school's reputation alive. Local paranormal enthusiasts have investigated the campus several times, but nothing they collected has been universally accepted as proof. Even so, the stories continue to spread, and the next school earned its reputation through one of the most unsettling places imaginable: its auditorium. Huntington High School. Unlike many haunted school stories that rely on old rumors, this location became famous because people from different generations continued describing remarkably similar experiences. Students staying late for sports practices claimed they heard conversations coming from empty classrooms. Custodians reported feeling as though someone was walking only a few steps behind them during late-night rounds, only to discover the hallways completely deserted. Some even described sudden cold spots that appeared without warning before disappearing just as quickly. There is no scientific evidence proving these events were paranormal, but the consistency of the stories has kept curiosity alive for years. Still, the final two schools have become even more deeply woven into local legend. Greyfriars High School. Some haunted places are remembered because of a single dramatic event. Others earn their reputation slowly, one unexplained story at a time. Former students from this historic school have recalled hearing quiet knocking sounds inside locked classrooms and seeing reflections in hallway windows that disappeared when they turned around. Teachers working late occasionally admitted they preferred not to stay alone after dark, describing an uncomfortable feeling they could never explain. Paranormal investigators have visited hoping to capture convincing evidence, yet no findings have settled the debate. Instead, every unanswered question has only strengthened the school's reputation. And the final school on our list remains one of the most talked about haunted campuses anywhere in the world: Bishop College High School. Long after the school closed, The abandoned campus developed a reputation that attracted explorers, photographers, and paranormal investigators alike. Visitors have reported hearing distant voices echo through empty buildings, seeing unexplained lights inside rooms with no electricity, and feeling an overwhelming sense that someone else was nearby. Decades of neglect have certainly transformed the campus into an eerie place, and skeptics argue that isolation, darkness, and expectation can easily shape what people believe they experience. Yet many who entered the property expecting nothing unusual left with stories they still struggle to explain. Whether those experiences were caused by the mind or something beyond, it remains a mystery that continues to draw attention. So, what do you think? Are these haunted school stories simply the result of old buildings, local legends, and active imaginations? Or do some places truly hold memories that science still cannot explain? If you enjoy dark mysteries and unexplained stories like this, consider subscribing to Dark Uncovered for more videos.